Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is Jiunn Liu. How you doing, Jiunn?
I'm pretty hungover.
Yeah, that's what the holidays will do to you, I guess.
Yeah, pretty fucking hungover.
And on this review, we also have Seth Geis. How you doing, Seth?
I'm drained, man.
Yeah.
Ready for the holidays to be over.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier that all our the kids have school out through the week, so can't wait to get back to work so that can get away from the kids for a little bit. So.
Have to deal with it anymore.
So today we're talking about the Davidoff The Master Selection 2008. The cigar is a Toro 6x52 ring gauge, comes out of the Davidoff factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Ecuadorian Habano. Binder is Mexican Negro San Andres. The filler is A. Estelivisus, Piloto Mejorado Ligero, SV Mejorado Ligero, Piloto Mejorado Visus, and Piloto Visus.
They totally just made that stuff up.
Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. Blended by Eladio Diaz. Price point is $35, and the cigar is released in September of 2017. So with all that out of the way, Jiunn, take us through your smoking experience.
When you light up the cigar, I mean, it's classic Davidoff. So for me, classic Davidoff is get that initial hit of like hay, cedar, like a nuttiness coming through, like a mixed nuttiness coming through. That kind of happened within like an inch or so of the cigar. After that, mild black pepper came through, the cream bread, baking spices, and it just really enhanced the overall profile once all that started going on. Pulling the smoke through the retrohaling through your nose, got some elevated baking spices, got some nice stone fruits coming through. And then moving on to that second, third, I thought it kind of became sharper in the sense of minerals and baking spices, and that also parlayed into the retrohale as well. And then within the last third, I kind of felt like everything just kind of smoothed out, right? So not one's note overtaking another one. Still got good baking spices, mineral, hay, cedar, mixed nuts, and it's just it's smooth, classic Davidoff for me. So in the areas of construction, no issues. I mean, I rated the burn and the draw to be both perfect. Sharp burn, tight ashes, slow burning, just the right amount of draw and resistance for me. So overall, I would say this is classic Davidoff flavor for me.
And then what about your draw and burn on this one?
Oh, I already said it.
Did you? Oh, sorry. Okay. All right, Seth, take us through your smoking experience.
I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, man, am I hearing things? The first third begins for me. It's just, a lot of soft spice. There's cedar, getting tobacco, nuts, earth, coffee beans, cocoa. There's really a lot of flavors. And it's pretty smooth in the first part. And then when I get into the second third, I find that it becomes a little bit more cedar focused, nutty and spices. The other flavors are still present. Those three characters I felt to be more dominant. And then going into the final third, there's transition. I start getting some fruit bread, nuts and leather. The other flavors are there, but it's just kind of a transitioning of which flavors are more dominant throughout the entire smoking experience. Really smooth, medium bodied, medium strength cigar, really flavor focused. Great construction. The burn line was perfect throughout. The draw was actually, I thought, great as well. I just thought it was dead on. It's just a well-made cigar. As Jiunn said, great Davidoff, just solid throughout.
Yeah, the first word for me was spicy cedar, baking spice, some creaminess. Second, third added a little bit of mustiness, some increased cream. Final third gained, some char and kind of pushed that mustiness out of the profile. Strength was slightly above medium the whole way, so it wasn't, anything crazy. I was a bit of an anomaly here in regards to the burn. Burn line was slightly wavy throughout. And then the final third, the cigar struggles to stay lit. Required a touch up to keep it burning. But ash held on 1.5-inch increments. And just like you guys, I thought the draw was perfect on this cigar. I had just the right amount of resistance I prefer, so I didn't have any issues there. So Jiunn, what was your overall thoughts on this cigar?
I thought it was a good cigar. So my benchmark is now that smoking this 2008 version of the Master Select, we smoked the 2010 version earlier this year. I liked the 2010 better. I thought that version had like a wider range of flavors, and I thought it was also more complex and nuanced as compared to this one. I still like this one. I mean, I think that kind of what I talked about earlier, that it's more in tune with like a regular, classic, smooth, Davidoff, right? It's not going to beat you over the head with strength. It's not going to, it's not going to. It's a very smooth, medium profile. So. But when I think about the Master Selection, I want more than just classic smooth Davidoff. I want something that's more elevated and kind of stepping up in the game. I thought the 2010 did it, but the '08 not quite there, but still good.
How about you, Seth?
It's, out of the Master Selections that I've smoked, they've all been really good cigars. This hasn't been like my most favorite of them all, but it's still a really well-made cigar. It's a good flavorful cigar. I really feel like you can really pick up on the Mexican binder with this cigar. I think the Mexican binder really is the leaf in here that takes it to a different level. I think if it didn't have it, it'd be like whatever, probably. But as Jiunn says, it's not. I thought the 13, if I'm recalling correctly, it was the most flavorful, most complex of them, all of them. The 2010 was a little bit stronger. This one was just kind of, flavorful and steady. So it's more within the Davidoff, but it's. I think if we smoked them all like the same time or pretty close, you could really see a lot of the differences between all the vintages they have, which is good for what they're doing. Because if I think there's too many similarities, it'd be like, what's the whole point of doing all this stuff? But it's a good smoke. I think all of these. I think what you would find with every single one of these Master Selections, if they're readily available, is you'd have certain guys who would focus on certain vintages. They wouldn't bother with the other stuff. They'd find their favorite stick. And it's just interesting that Davidoff is doing it with something along these lines.
Yeah, man, like you said, the flavor profile was good and it was consistent. There wasn't a lot of complexities in regards to new, transitions and things like that. But that's okay when a cigar can provide good flavors. And I had a little bit of issue with the burn. You guys didn't have that, so maybe just kind of a one-off for me. I think I agree with you guys. 2010 better than 2008. But it has me intrigued. I mean, I still thought it was a good cigar, and it has me intrigued to try the the other vintages that they're offering. So it's just going to be depending on somebody's palate and which one they kind of gravitate towards. After smoking them. I mean, it's kind of tough to try your way through the line based on the price point. But if you're willing to do it, you can go ahead and do that and find out which one you like the best. I mean, if you're looking to stock up on these things, obviously you're going to have the funds to be able to try the different vintages. So it'll work out that way. So getting into the scores, I gave it a 6.62. Jiunn, you gave it a 7.17, and Seth, you gave it a 7.53. How do you guys think your scores match up with your experience?
For me, it matches well. So within the story of scores for this year, I had a lot of cigars that hit exactly this range, right? So if I were to think of it as my top 25 list for new cigars that came out this year, I think it sits in the middle of the pack. It'll hit, meaning, probably somewhere in the number 17 to number 20 range. So what does that mean? That means within a new cigar that came out this year is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's good to make the list for this year for me.
How about you, Seth?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's right on line. With where I'd put it. I mean, these aren't. I mean, you said it. They're not cheap sticks. These are premium cigars. I mean, by what I mean by that is they're about $30 a stick. So do I expect it to do well? Yeah, and I think anyone who goes to buy it should expect it to do well. I mean, if you for $35, yeah, it should smoke really well. It's interesting, Jiunn, you have this in your top 25, and it's one of these things. If you start focusing on anyone who just focuses on top 25 cigars, for 2017, and they smoked all of these. It's, you know, you could really dominate your top 25 with a bunch of Davidoffs just because of what they are. You know, it's one of these things that some people you could see, yeah, you could see a couple of these in there. But it's one of those, yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, it's in line. It's a really good stick. Not my favorite one, but it's really good.
Yeah, my score matches up as well. I mean, I didn't like it as much as you guys did, but I'm more of the tougher score, I guess. And I had a little bit of a, you know, a burn issue in mine, so kind of deducted a little bit there. But otherwise, you know, like everything you guys said is definitely in line with this one. Any other final thoughts from you guys on this cigar?
Well, what you said earlier, Seth, if you had the opportunity to smoke these new Davidoff lines this year, you know, you could really dominate your top 25 with Davidoff cigars. That's actually exactly what is going on with me this year, right? Like going through these master selects, going through even, you know, the greater profile of Davidoff, right? Like when you factor in Avo, not so much Camacho, because that infused stuff is not that great. Even like smoking jacket, you know what I mean? Like smoking jacket, Henke, fantastic cigar, right? So, and that's exactly the story of my top 10 this year is Davidoff Super Heavy, because, I mean, it's no, and I would never be the type, like, don't get me wrong, when I buy cigars, I don't go, all right, what is the best $40 cigar I can go out and buy? You know, like, what is the best profile, overall flavor? Because I'm like most people, you know, price conscious. But in terms of pure flavor, Davidoff's where it's at for me this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's delivering. I mean, they really are delivering. And if you're smoking them and you're critiquing them and reviewing them, it's hard not to give it a good review. So, but yeah, I mean, Davidoff will dominate in that sense if you focus on this year.
Exactly. Well, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. And you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.